The Art of Reflection by Megan Jenkins, Deputy Head, Careers and Employability.
And Penny Barnes, Graduate Intern.
The Cardiff Award places a lot of importance on the art of reflection. We want you to learn how to become a reflective practitioner throughout your time at university, and you will develop this skill a lot throughout your ward experience. Reflection is so important. If you crack this now, this is an attribute you can take with you for your whole life, both professionally and personally. This short video will show you the fundamentals of how to develop this vital graduate attribute and give you some tips for writing your reflective piece for your Cardiff Award portfolio. So to begin with, what is reflection? Well, in its most obvious sense, it's looking in the mirror and thinking about what you see. But the Oxford English Dictionary describes it as a process of serious thought or consideration. If we link the two, we have a pretty good explanation of 2/3 of what reflection means, looking in the mirror at your actions and seriously considering these actions. The final third involves thinking about how what has happened could be used to improve future outcomes of events. The value of reflection is recognised worldwide. Indeed, you will use reflection in some form or another throughout your whole career. And as is often the case with valuable learning, there have been several academic models of reflection in the past years. The one we recommend you use for the Cardiff Award is Professor Gibbs' reflective cycle. This cycle has 6 stages. Stage 1, description. What happened? At this stage, describe the situation you're reflecting on. Don't make judgments yet or try to draw conclusions, simply describe. Stage 2, feelings. What were your reactions and feelings? Again, don't move on to analysing these yet. Stage 3, evaluation. What was good or bad about the experience? Stage 4, analysis. What sense can you make of the situation? Bring in ideas from outside the experience to help you here. Next, conclusion. What can be concluded about your own specific situation or way of working? And the final stage, action planning. What are you going to do differently in this type of situation next time? What steps are you going to take on the basis of what you have learnt? So let's use Penny's real life example here to demonstrate.
For part of my university course, I had to do a 10-minute presentation about a module we'd studied. It was in front of the class and in front of my professor, and it didn't go as planned, and I really messed it up. I stumbled over my words, I forgot all my terminology, and my presentation slides moved on too quickly for me to keep up with them. I was terrified to speak in front of people who went to lectures with me every day, in front of people who knew me and my professor, who was marking the work for my final grade, and now I knew I was messing up, I started to panic even more. I got through it, but it was a disaster. I'd worked so hard to put this presentation together, but in that 10 minutes, it looked like I'd made no effort. I started off well, but then I saw a friend of mine in the front row and it really put me off. Other things that went well is that I used the full 10 minutes and all the material I had covered was covered by other people, so that meant I was on the right lines. But on the downside, the overall delivery wasn't what I'd hoped for. The panic that I'd felt had made my speech jumbled and my thought patterns jumbled as well. My professor commented on it afterwards, and what he said wasn't the feedback I hoped I would get. My planning, research and preparation got me through, but what had hindered me on the day was that my nerves were so bad. My conclusion is that if I had got a handle on my nerves and not panicked so much, I would have done a lot better. Next time, I will put as much effort into my practice as I did with my planning. I will ask my housemates to sit in front of me whilst I practice in front of them so that they can give me some feedback and that I can get used to being in front of people. Also, I'm going to do a presentation course in the skills development.
Brilliant. So that is an excellent verbal reflective description and a great example of Gibbs' cycle in practice. For your 500-word piece, you should use the same process to reflect on your whole award experience. So now it's over to you. It's important that you use the framework that you feel most comfortable with and that helps you in your learning. But whatever way you choose to reflect whilst you're on the Cardiff Award, it's vital that you approach it with an open mind. Here are some points to remember. Reflection is not just description. You need to get inside the events and think about what happened and why it happened. This is a personal account. It's about you and what you have learned. Reflection isn't always a comfortable process. In fact, reflection's really easy to avoid, but do so at your peril. It's not experience that makes you learn, it's thinking about the experience. So all the commitment you will make on the Cardiff Award will only really make sense when you reflect on the experiences you're going through. In this module, you will be able to download a template reflective document for your 500 words. Good luck and enjoy the journey.